Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, that is big time stuff. Touchdown, 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 Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, 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 baby.
Yes. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick Harkson here on Touchdown Detroit Lions over on Syndicate Sports Detroit. Gonna let some people get in here, but if you're in here, say what's up. Let me know that you're here. Good to see everybody. Grit, what's going on? Yes, we are back for another edition. The season is almost upon us. We have a preseason game this week, only a few days away. Excited for that. Started joint practices this week. So, things are getting very close. Very exciting here, especially for us Lions fans. We got a lot of hype. And, I think we're going to handle it well. I think we're going to do okay with that hype this year. Kim, what's up? That's my mother. Hello. So like I said, say what's up once you get in here. Let me know that you're here, and we will get this thing rolling. But, it's a Tuesday. Lions, joint practice with the Giants. Less than a month away from regular season football. I cannot wait. And, that's exciting news. What's up, David? What's up, Mary? Yes, we are going to do this thing. Here we go. Let's get it started. Let's start with some not so important news while people are getting in here. But, so SummerSlam was in Detroit this past weekend. What's up, Michelle? I don't know if AP's in here. What's up, AP? Yes, Grit, no worries. You don't have to say a lot today, but if you got something that you want to know, please ask, and I will be sure to address it before this episode is over. But SummerSlam was in Detroit this past weekend. Sheamus, who is a WWE star, came to the Lions practice, and apparently he had been begging Dan Campbell to come and make an appearance at SummerSlam for a while. Wanted him to get into the ring. Dan, being the good coach that he is, declined because he's too focused. They got too much to work on right now, and he couldn't make an appearance. But, I do media for WWE as well. So my two worlds were clashing right there. It would have been amazing to see MCDC come out to some Metallica, go out there, wreck some havoc in the ring, maybe knock a few guys over in the Battle Royal, maybe win it, and the crowd goes crazy. But no, that didn't happen. But that is something, a lot of funny stories around Dan Campbell as of late. He was supposed to be, got asked to be at SummerSlam, wanted a real-life Lion on the sideline. The guy's crazy. But I think that he would have had a great career as a WWE wrestler, but I'm much happier that he is our coach instead. But, some other media news here that's not really involved with play. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Amon-Ra St. Brown were just on an episode of Family Feud. I have not seen it yet. Saw a few clips. Looked pretty funny. I'm probably going to check it out. You should go check it out too. But we got some people coming in here. Who's your Gotti? Good to see you back. We are back. Yes. Been doing a few lives the last few weeks, but, not a lot of people knew. Kind of came back silently. Season's ramping up. We're back full force. I do see some questions about Teddy Bridgewater, and we're going to get right into that here in a second. But before we get too far, we do have a preseason game that is coming up this Friday. Not a lot of options to watch it if you're out of the market. The Lions did just release new ways to watch it, though, if you're local. They're doing it through, I think it's Kiswe, Kiswe Productions. But they're going to allow fans to watch the preseason game on Friday through the Detroit Lions website and through their app. The only downfall is if you're not considered in the local market, you can't stream it through those options. There is an option to watch the game, though. You can subscribe to NFL Plus. It's $4.99 a month, or I think like $39.99 for the annual subscription. Uh, the $4.99 a month wouldn't be so bad because you get all the out of market preseason games if you don't live in Detroit, or if they're not airing it there, you can watch it. But other than that, there's not too much upside to that $39.99 for the annual. I think they do air a few select games just on NFL Plus throughout the year if you're out of market. I think last year they did the Dallas and Detroit game if you didn't live in the Detroit area. But yeah, so that's the only upside to it. But I might subscribe just to see the games that we can't. But yeah, let's get into that Teddy Bridgewater signing. We just went out and got Teddy B to be our backup quarterback. Yes, the backup quarterback. He is not going to threaten Goff. Goff is the number one guy. Teddy Bridgewater is specifically coming in to make a little bit more competition in that backup quarterback room, and he's definitely coming for Nate Sudfeld's job, and I expect him to take that job. Dan Campbell absolutely loves Teddy B. He's coached him in Miami and in New Orleans, and he had some good things to say about him. He said Teddy really is an outstanding teammate, and he also pointed out that when Drew Brees, was out for the 5 games in New Orleans when he was hurt, Teddy really stepped up, helped the younger players, really helped out the receivers, and he won all 5 of the games as the backup quarterback when Brees was gone. Now, of course, that was some years ago, but that's exactly what you want out of your backup quarterback. I personally, no offense to Nate Sudfeld, I don't believe in him. I don't want Goff to get hurt. You never want that, and I hope to God that he doesn't. But if for some reason he does, it's good to have a capable backup quarterback, and that's what Teddy Bridgewater is. I don't think that he's on Goff's level. I think that in his heyday he might have been, injuries plagued his career, but he is a very capable backup quarterback. He can run the offense. I trust if Goff goes down that we won't fall off too much. We will fall off. It is a fall off from Goff to Teddy Bridgewater, no matter what you think. But I like the signing no matter what. And this is another huge reason why I like the signing. Nothing against Nate Sudfeld once again, but I think that Teddy offers a lot more knowledge, him and Goff together, to pass on to Hendon Hooker, really groom that quarterback. He can really learn a lot from each of them. They're different style quarterbacks. And I think it's great. And Dan pointed out, Teddy, a great teammate. He's going to help Hendon Hooker develop here while he's dealing with his injury. A lot of you guys still wondering, too, what's going on with Hendon Hooker. Well, he's still battling back from his bad ACL injury that he has suffered in college. He's not going to be the backup this year. He is developing, he's coming back physically wise a lot faster, but the NFL game is so much faster mentally. He's got to get that part down before he can see the field. And coming off of a significant injury like that, you don't want to rush him back. All right. Here we go. I do see some questions coming in today. I like that. Who did we cut, John? Well, we cut a few different people. We got rid of the long snapper, but I think that was going to happen anyways, McBride. And we are going with Daly now. He's going to be the regular long snapper, but we're making moves. I think that they are going to decide between Sudfeld, Martinez, and Bridgewater there. I expect Sudfeld probably maybe to be the guy who's getting booted out the door. Martinez is a good practice quarterback. Maybe Nate will be the practice quarterback. I know him and Goff are buddies, but that does not necessarily keep you a job, especially with Dan Campbell. But all right, yeah, here we go. David, I'm going to read your question. Let's see there. Is it true that Thomas ran a 4.28 40, or that he was faster on radar than JMO? If he's the only defender as fast as JMO, would it be crazy to have him cover JMO and Sutton can do the other side? That is what I've heard. I've heard that he ran a crazy, insane, 40, but that's just going to happen in practice, and that would be good for JMO to go up against that, just to get, some reps against a guy as fast as him. But I don't think it's anything to worry about during the regular season. JMO is still going to be faster than all the other cornerbacks out there, opposing cornerbacks, that is what I'm saying. But yeah, Grit Real one more time. MCDC made Sheamus look small. He definitely did. I didn't get into that. Yeah, he could be a WWE wrestler. And Sheamus is huge. Like you said, Sheamus is a huge wrestler. He makes all the other WWE wrestlers look small. And Dan Campbell was out there making Sheamus look small, just towering over him. Built. It looks like he is in the WWE. But yeah, once again, I'm just glad that he's our coach. Bridgewater historically was very good, but struggled in Miami last year. Why? That's probably for a few different reasons. It's a new system. I know that he is a good, sufficient backup quarterback, but it was a new system. Quarterbacks sometimes struggle their first year in a new system. You saw how Goff was. He didn't have a lot to throw to when Goff was here his first year, but it was new to him, and he was not doing that well. I think that Teddy, as a backup, should hopefully have a little bit more time to learn the system. Shouldn't be thrown out there into play during the regular season right away, hopefully, because Goff will be healthy. And if he ever has to come in, hopefully it's because we're killing the other team. Now, I did see this prediction earlier on X or Twitter that, people are predicting the Lions to be so good that we don't need to play Goff the last game of the year. Teddy Bridgewater plays his old team, the Minnesota Vikings, and he goes out there and smashes them. Yes, I would love to see that happen, of course. But that's the only time I really want to see Teddy come in. I don't want to see him come in for any other reason than we are up big, because Goff is staying healthy. He's out there killing. But it's good to have that insurance there. It's good to know that we have that there just in case, but I don't want to have to use Teddy Bridgewater for any of the necessary reasons. Just put him in there when we're killing. That's all I want. All right, we're going to move on. I'll get back to more questions. Here we go. Oh, actually, this does concern the quarterbacks, so I will answer this. Will this mean we keep 3 QBs on the 53-man roster so we can take advantage of the new 3 QB rule on game day? I think we do. Who we keep is going to be the question. Now, I did say that I think we get rid of Sudfeld and Martinez would be the practice squad. But I think, Hendon Hooker is going to have to he's not going to get no live reps. I don't think that he dresses. I think that he can be on the injury and be out there on the sideline with us. So there's that. But if he does develop fast enough, then we got the 3 QBs there. It's going to be Goff, Teddy B, Hendon Hooker. But in the time being, we could keep Nate Sudfeld, keep it interesting. I know, like I said earlier, Goff and Nate have a good connection. They're buddies. So keep Goff happy, keep all 3. He has his guy to talk to. I'm not saying that him and Teddy won't become friends. But yeah, I think that we do use the 3 QB rule. We're the ones who wanted it. We pitched for it. Why not use it, right? So, but that means we're going to have to give up somebody else on the roster for that. That will be an interesting decision, and it'll be interesting to see who they decide to take out for that 3rd quarterback if they decide to do that. But all right, no Teddy B at training camp or joint practices this week. Dan Campbell said he's going to get him in to work out starting next week, so we will not see him play in the preseason game. So that means Nate Sudfeld lives to see another day, and he will get some preseason action this Friday. But let's get into a few famous faces that we saw at the Lions joint practice today. We had some famous running backs, and I don't know why one of them was here. I am talking about Marshawn Lynch. Don't know why he was there, but he was seen chopping it up with Saquon Barkley. He walked by the Lions quarterback. Goff went and gave him a big hug. Maybe Marshawn Lynch is hearing all this hype around the Lions, wanted to see what it's all about, wanted to see the joint practice today because the Giants are a good team too. Maybe this was the most intriguing joint practice, and he wanted to come out to Detroit to see what it was all about. I don't know, but it's cool to see Marshawn Lynch there at the joint practice. And, of course, we have the GOAT who was there, the one and only, greatest of all time, Barry Sanders, also seen talking with Saquon Barkley for a significant amount of time after practice. But, it's always great to have Barry out there showing his face, Everybody knows who he is. He's a legend out there encouraging these young guys. I'm sure he had something to say to Jahmyr Gibbs and them. If not, get in with Ja Gibbs. Let him know your knowledge. We want to see him out there balling out, as I'm sure that he will. But okay, let's get into the real deal talk of the training. And you know what? Actually, I have one more thing to say about Barry that I forgot that they announced today. September 16th, the day before the home opener, the Lions are going to unveil a Barry Sanders statue. That is correct. Barry Sanders is the first Lions player to have a statue made of him, and it's well deserving. It shouldn't be any other way. I'm surprised he hasn't already gotten his statue for the great things that he did here. He should have had a statue the minute he retired. Now, I know that, he never had a lot of success as far as the playoffs go. He was there for the last playoff win way back in the early 90s. But Barry, the greatest of all time, gets a well-deserving tribute to him in Detroit. A statue. Amazing. Congrats, Barry. Congrats. All right, let's get to the joint practices. Let's talk some people who were out of practice to start right from the get-go. Denzel Mims, and Jonah Jackson both not participating in practice today. But coach said it was nothing serious, so I believe him. Probably just more of a rest day, precautionary. I expect them maybe to be back out there tomorrow. I also believe that Frank Ragnow had an excused absence today, probably because he's on baby watch. So that's very understandable as well. Somebody who was present was that of Jamison Williams. He had missed the last few practices, undisclosed reasons, I think maybe to do with his leg. But he was out there practicing today, flying around, looked fine, and multiple reporters said that he was the first guy on the field. So it's good to see his excitement, that he wants to be out there, his enthusiasm. Good for you, JMO. Didn't hear much about his performance, in team play or anything like that. But it is good to see the kid back out there. All right, let's get to the defensive side of the ball. Apparently, second year, Kirby Joseph is out there flying around, just making plays, playing with confidence, chirping, doing his thing, stepping up to that next level. And that's what you love to hear, because the kid was already showing promise in his first year. I mean, he is Aaron Rodgers' father. But, to hear that he's continuing to get better and making even a larger step into his second year, as he should, is so good for this D-back group. I think that he had the numbers last year to be a Pro Bowler. He was a rookie. I think he was overlooked a little bit. Maybe he didn't support in the run as much as they thought that he should, but he made some big hits last year. But from what I'm hearing is that he is doing a lot better in run support so far, but he's making some big-time plays in the secondary. He had a few pass breakups today, and that is what I am talking about. Love to see that. Kirby Joseph. And, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is out there really setting things up for him, though. I hear that, he's disrupting things on the line, kind of blanketing the defense to allow Kirby to do his thing. So C.J. making his presence. I knew that he would. Secondary, from what I hear as well, it did not allow hardly any, if any, deep balls to be completed at all. They were kind of controlling that. If they tried to go deep, it wasn't happening. Now, and I'll touch one more on another D-back before we get out of here. Cam Sutton, heard had a great day as well, especially in one-on-ones. Wasn't allowing hardly anything to be caught. Another great pickup right there. And then, of course, our undrafted free agent, Starling Thomas, man. This guy, I'm telling you, we're hitting again. And it's going to keep hitting. Brad Holmes knows what he's doing. And we're out here finding these undrafted free agent DBs, and they're making noise. Of course, Jerry Jacobs, our last one. But it's good to see that we got another one here making some noise. So good for you, Starling. But I did hear we were kind of getting tore up on the short game. The little dump checkoffs to the running backs or tight ends. I heard they were dumping it off to Darren Waller quite a bit. Heard Rodrigo and Jack Campbell were both getting burnt on those routes quite a bit. So not very good, but I heard it wasn't for lack of talent. More so just the young guys weren't used to this scheme, seeing this offensive scheme. I believe that they will nip this in the butt and get it going. But this is what joint practices are for, to really figure out what guys can do what and to improve them on the certain areas that they can't. I'm not too concerned. Jack Campbell, rookie, he hates when he makes mistakes. He already said it. He does not want to make the same mistake twice. I believe him. I believe he's going to put in the work. He's going to go out there and do his best to get better at pass coverage, especially on those routes. Rodrigo the same. He's a workhorse. We all love Rodrigo. But the linebacking room is getting kind of interesting. Anzalone leading the way. And we're going to get into the depth chart. They released an unofficial depth chart, and we're going to talk a lot about that today. But from what I hear in this mixed reviews, some people have, after Anzalone, Jack Campbell leading the way. Others have Barnes. But besides that, Rodrigo is the fourth one, and it's plain as day. Like, I love Rodrigo. We all love Rodrigo. He's a great player. He's going to go out there and he's going to bust his butt for you. But right now it's looking Anzalone, Barnes and Campbell neck and neck, and then Rodrigo. So it's good to have all four of those linebackers as far as depth, but it will be interesting to see come week 1 who will be the starting linebackers out there. No matter what, I think that all four are going to get a significant amount of playing time. But yeah, let's get in to a little bit more defense here. Kaminsky out there being full-on beast mode, going all over the line as expected, wrecking havoc. Love to have him back. And Hutch out there, according to Jeremy Reisman, got at least 2 sacks. Now, this duo right here, Kaminsky and Hutch, they're going to be dominant all year long as they can all stay healthy. We saw it last year. Hutch had a great game against Washington. Kaminsky was creating a lot of those opportunities for him, but then he got hurt. He was out some games. Hutch kind of slowed down his production on the defensive side. I don't see that happening this year. If Kaminsky goes out, I think Hutch is a whole other beast now. But Kaminsky does draw a lot of attention to him and frees up a lot more room for other guys to make plays. And we saw that when he came back, he had the club on, and Hutch was back to making plays like he was in week 2 against Washington. So it's great to see him out there doing his thing per usual, as well as Hutch. And then last but not least, on the defensive side, we have James Houston, apparently, who made a great play, a huge tackle for a loss. We're going to talk a little bit more about Houston here. I want to see a lot more of him on the field, but I'm worried with the depth that we have there at his position that maybe he won't see as much as fans want to see. He did have a great year last year, but, we got Charles Harris back, Romeo Okora, who we're going to talk a little bit later about, but Hutch, we got some depth. Pascal's going to be fully healthy this year. So we'll see what the plans are for Houston. I think you got to involve him. But where he's at on the depth and where they've had him, it's not looking as promising as I thought it would be. So let's go. We need him out there making plays. I'm going to look over here into the comment section before we get to the offensive side. Grit, scary thing about Teddy as your backup QB, he always finds his way onto the field in the regular season. Let's hope this is the exception. You are so right. I hope that it's not like some kind of curse to where he comes. And yeah, I don't want that to happen. I hope that he's just there to mentor some guys, really be a great teammate. He's a Dan Campbell favorite. Please, let's keep Goff on the field as long as he's killing. But you are so right about that, Grit. That is, that's scary. It is scary. All right, David's got some more to say. David, I will answer your questions. To honor Barry, we need a 20-0 perfect season. I'm all about it, baby. Let's do it. Perfect season, regular season, then we run the table in the playoffs, win the Super Bowl. That's the best way to honor Barry right there. I agree with you 100%, David. Here we go. In Houston, is Houston in on passing downs? I think that's the deal. So he's going to work in more just to rush the passer. Dan Campbell said it in a few pressers this year already when asked about him, that he's kind of got a long ways to go to really learn his role if he wants to be out there on the field more. We all know that he can rush the passer. We all know that he's got great moves. He does that little skip. He gets lower than everybody. He tackles offensive linemen and the quarterback at the same time. So he is very effective in the pass rush. So I would not, it would be very shocking to me if they don't have him out there during passing downs. But yeah, I think that is definitely the plan there, David. So way to point that out. But yeah, keep the questions coming and I will answer them. But let's get to the offensive side of the ball right now. Here today at the joint practices, no surprise here, but Amon-Ra St. Brown out there once again dominating. Saw a few videos of him and, in one-on-ones, they started it off. He was one-on-one against, I'm not sure who the D-back was for the Giants, but he burned him by a significant amount and Goff hit him on stride, 56-yard touchdown. It was beautiful. But yeah, so that's promising to hear that the connection between Goff and the Sun God is still going strong. And yeah, so if you play fantasy football, I would expect another huge year from him. If you're going to draft a Lion, go get the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can't go wrong there. The guy is going to have a huge year. He's on fire before the season even starts. All right. Another person, I hear now, I'm not going to talk about a person specifically. I did hear that the offense was struggling with the run at first. They weren't able to get anything going right up the middle, or even when Ja and David Montgomery was trying to bounce it outside. It wasn't really working, but they did another round of first teamers. Montgomery was able to break off a huge gain off of a short pass to him, and Sam Laporta had a nice block on that run. But let's talk about the guy who apparently, according to some people, and Tim 20Man said this, and he is a reliable source. They say that Ja Gibbs, was the best player on the field today. And, after watching this was one-on-ones. This was not during team scrimmage, and we'll talk more about this. But watch this video. Just check this out. My God. And this is courtesy of the Detroit Lions. But did you see that move? Look at the separation. That's easy 6 all day. One more time in slow-mo. Oh, my God. 58, you have no chance. Holy God. Look at that separation one more time. Right in the bread basket. That is just great to see. Love to see it. Ja Gibbs, that's why we picked him number 12. He is not just a running back. He is a weapon on that offensive side. And he did great in the red zone today. 2 caught touchdown passes in the red zone. And then he pounded one in there on the goal line for another touchdown. This kid is going to be a problem. I'm telling you, that's another guy. Fantasy football, go get him. But I was shocked at first. I'm not going to lie. 12th overall pick, we got a running back. And Jahmyr Gibbs, who I thought maybe we could get in the second round. Well, I thought wrong because other GMs and teams were mad when we got him, is the word on the street. And now I'm so glad we got him at 12. When you can get a guy who can make your team that much better, who cares where you get him? If they become an all-pro, who cares where you draft them? If you get a weapon and they turn out to be a great player for your team, that's all that matters. And I do see Jahmyr Gibbs doing that for our team. All right, moving on. A wide receiver, according to Jeff Risdon, who was impressing the most outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Peter Schrager did a segment on this guy on Good Morning Football a few days ago. But I'm talking about Dylan Drummond, undrafted free agent. I love it. Love to see another guy who just snuck by it. Nobody gave him a chance. Comes out, tries out, makes the team for, training camp, gets his shot. And now he's out there and being named the most impressive receiver outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, according to Jeff Risdon. So right there, that's somebody to keep an eye on this Friday in the game. He's going to get some playing time. It might be in the second half, but you got to keep an eye on this guy. I would love to see that story where undrafted free agent guy, out of Michigan, didn't get called to come to the draft, didn't get called after that, pretty much just got called to training camp to try out for the Lions, made it, Now he's looking like one of the better receivers on the team. We'll see. You know, it probably won't be a starter or anything like that if he does make the squad. But you like those stories. And the thing that I like the most about Dylan Drummond is that he doesn't wear the gloves. He's out there old school with his hands, and he's just grabbing that thing and pulling it down. So big ups to Dylan Drummond. Love to see it. Hope you make the team. But yeah, we will see how that goes. Watch out for him on Friday, though. That will be a great guy to watch. Other people that I would love to watch are all the rookies, of course. Love to see if JMO gets out there and gets some reps too. I know that's the plan. I want to see what he does. But another receiver who did well today was Marvin Jones Jr. Went up and made a few contested catches. That's kind of been the thing with him, you know. He's not getting a lot of separation anymore. He's not getting open. So he's got to go up and make those contested catches. But the catches that he didn't make were impressive. So I'll give him that at least. Alrighty. We're going to move on. You know, from what I hear, seeing the both Lions and Giants beat reports, the Lions had the better overall practice today, especially when it was first teamers against first teamers. Lions just looked a little bit better. So that's encouraging, especially because the Giants are not a bad team. So, I mean, we're going to see tomorrow how it goes. They're going to do it again, and then on Friday, of course, is the preseason game, and we'll really get to see. But I wouldn't expect to see a lot of our starters this game, so don't judge too much on this preseason. Just look at how the rookies play. Look at how the guys who we need to develop play, and that's what it's really all about this Friday. Okay, I am going to jump back into the comments before we get into one more thing. James is a pure this from Grit. James is a pure pass rusher. He could just come in on third downs and still lead the team or league in sacks. You're so right. That's kind of what he did last year. I mean, it was crazy when he had played 7 games and had 8 sacks at that moment. I mean, the guy is an absolute beast, and I would not be surprised if we use him just for that specifically, you know. Bring him in when it's an obvious pass play and he's going to get to the quarterback or he's going to create some pressure. I would love that. I think that we got other guys who can play first and second down, get the job done. Bring in Houston. You are very right. He is such a pure pass rusher. The guy was excellent in his rookie year already. I'm glad that he made the regular 53-man roster to show what he had, because otherwise he might not even be here for us to talk about him right now. But yeah, he's insane. He gets lower than anybody. Like you said, his acceleration is ridiculous, but look how low that guy gets, man. I'm scared that he's going to get flagged for the low hit on the quarterback because of how low he gets. But it's so impressive. That guy would win a limbo contest any day of the week between any other defensive lineman. David, we need a 4-sub, 4-4, 40 guys on offense. Is that the fastest offense in the league? That very possibly could be, and I love how we're going out and getting these guys. You know, I've noticed that as well. It's like, you know, one of them is going to be suspended for 6 games, JMO, but you know, he's going to make a big difference when he comes back. And then you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's your running back, and he's a burner. You saw it in the video that I just showed you there. He's going to create so much separation, especially when he gets a one-on-one with these linebackers. Defenses aren't going to know what to do. That's going to be happening all day, and I am here for it. I need to check on that stat to see the other teams, their 40 times. But I'm willing to bet we are top 5 fastest team, if not the top. So, yeah, that's a good point out right there. And I love it. That's the way to do it. You know, go get skilled guys and develop them. Why not? All right, let's get into this depth chart here. Here, great. Sorry, the acceleration of comment was about Gibbs. Yeah, Gibbs is just insane. His acceleration, he's so fast. It's going to be such a problem for other defenses to deal with. They're going to have to put corners on him, safeties on him. But there's going to be times where they can't because we have everybody else up there. It's going to be one-on-one with Gibbs and a linebacker, and we got to take advantage of that. That's so easy. That's a gimme right there sometimes, you know. Anyways, Grit, love it. Love the comments today, guys. All right, let's get into this depth chart. The Lions released their unofficial depth chart, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. It may be small, So I'm going to go through it for you. I'm going to have it fill in the whole screen, though, or as much as I can. It's going to block my face. But here we go. This is the unofficial first depth chart that the Lions released. And I'll try to explain this here to some of you who haven't seen this. But the left-hand column is the first teamers. Besides, if you see like Avery Davis there, he's listed under Amon-Ra St. Brown. That does not mean he's a first teamer. That means they didn't continue the columns over there to the right, and they just put him over here. He's actually the fifth stringer. So if they are not, if it doesn't say WR and then the name, or LT and then the name right next to it, then they are not the first stringer. Avery Davis, Bobby Hart, both fifth string players right there. But let's get into it. As of now, Marvin Jones Jr. holding down the wide receiver spot over there on the outside on the right or left. I'm going to say on the left-hand side. Jameson Williams there at second, and you got Antoine Green there third. I heard Green's been impressing. Jameson Williams, of course, will miss the first 6 games, so that's going to be a spot wide open right there. In the slot, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown. No surprise, the Sun God is a dominant man. But then Denzel Mims right there. You did, I don't know, we did the whole segment last week with the in and out guys that Pride of Detroit predicts who's going to make the team and who's not going to. This week they did it again. You can go check it out. But Denzel Mims is a 50-50 guy right now to make the team, which is kind of surprising. Then we got left tackle Taylor Decker. That's going to stay the same. Matt Nelson is second string. Left guard Jonah Jackson, who did not practice today. Without him there, they had Darren Paulo filling in for him. He got a lot more time, even though that they have these other guys listed ahead of them in the depth chart. But like I said, this is the very first, depth chart that they're releasing. It's unofficial, but it is kind of, a glimpse into the maybe future. Center Frank Ragnow is number 1. He did not practice today, and without that, they had Vaitai at right guard, which is right there. He is the starter as of now, but they moved Graham Glasgow to center. So that's interesting to know, and that's kind of, like I said, with Goff and Teddy B, it's good to know that we have a good backup there. I trust Graham Glasgow to be a good center. If Frank Ragnow is having some soreness in his toe, needs a little break, put Graham there. He can handle the job. I like it. I did have Graham winning that right guard position, though, but as of now, that's not how it is. They got Vaitai leading the way. Of course, Penei Sewell over there at right tackle. But this is interesting here. Tight end, Brock Wright is listed as the number 1 tight end as of now, and Sam Laporta is number 2. I do expect this to change come first week. I heard Sam Laporta is just out there dominating, making a case for himself as a rookie, making great blocks, burning the linebackers, getting touchdown passes. I would expect that to change, but, no disrespect to Brock Wright. He did some good things last year. Okay, wide receivers. Again, over on the right side, Josh Reynolds holding down that number 1 spot with Khalif Raymond right there. And then, of course, third, Dylan Drummond. That's a guy to watch for. Typically NFL teams keep around 7 wide receivers on their roster. So we'll see if he makes it. We'll see. Quarterback, of course, Jared Goff. And Teddy Bridgewater is not listed yet because he's not officially signed. But he'll be there, and I expect him to be that number 2 quarterback when things are said and done. Running back, now here we go. All right. David Montgomery, of course. Jahmyr Gibbs, of course. And that's kind of a 2-headed monster. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be out there when David Montgomery is out there as well. They've already been running these practice packages, and we're going to see how they do that. But, just because Gibbs is listed as number 2 now doesn't mean he's not going to be out there just as much as Montgomery, if not more. Then you got Justin Jackson at 3, Craig Reynolds at 4, Jamar Jefferson, and then we talked about this, Mohamed Ibrahim, the last listed running back on the depth chart. We paid some money for him, not a lot, but, we took a risk on him, and this is just shocking to me. I thought he was definitely going to make the roster. He had a great college career with Minnesota. He broke records. Go check out his stats. Go watch his tape. This is just a shocker to me. I really thought he was going to come in, do some things well for the Lions, be that third down back or that goal line guy that can just pound it in there. But it's not looking good for him so far, especially with the in and out predictions from Pride of Detroit and now seeing this first unofficial depth chart from the Lions. Not looking good for Mo Ibrahim. Then, of course, Jason Kabinda. Defensive side, we got Charles Harris, John Kaminsky, and Julian Okwara over there on the first DN side. That's pretty good right there. Aleem the Dream McNeil and Levi Onwuzurike holding it down there in the middle along with Isaiah Buggs and Broderick Martin there, second string. Watch out for this guy. Saw some tape right before I started this. Go to the Lions X page, go to their Twitter page, whatever it is. They show some clips of Levi and Broderick Martin both just easily getting past the Giants offensive linemen. Broderick Martin could be the steal of the draft. This guy could end up being, one of the best picks ever for Brad Holmes if he turns out to be a dominant force there on the defensive line. I know I'm stretching there saying that, but the guy's already looking great. He was a late third-round pick that we traded for. Looking promising. I did a little segment on him last week. Go check it out. It's on the page. Anyways, Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Paschal. James Houston listed as the third string D end over there on that side. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I do see Houston making it over Julian Okwara, but even more surprising, Romeo Okwara is the fourth string D end on that side, which, I thought as a vet he would be coming back strong. He did look decent in his games when he came back last year off that Achilles, and I thought he'd be even stronger this year and go back to his full form that he was at before the injury. Maybe not all the way, but still be a wrecking force. And right now he's listed as fourth, but it could just be a little precautionary thing. As you see, Emmanuel Mosley down there at cornerback as the fourth string cornerback too, but when he comes back all the way, he should probably be a first string corner, second string at the least. All right, linebackers, I skipped over them real quick. Derek Barnes leading the way, followed by Jack Campbell, and then the other linebacking position, Alex Anzalone and Malcolm Rodriguez. We talked about that earlier. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, Cam Sutton, Jerry Jacobs holding down the ones. Love it. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Brian Branch there at nickel. And I talked about this in a previous week. In the red zone, they've been doing a package where CJ Gardner-Johnson goes back to safety. Tracy Walker comes out. Brian Branch is in at nickel. I love mixing up the packages. So love to see that there too. I know Brian Branch is going to get a significant amount of playing time there as well this year. Then starting safety, Tracy Walker and Kirby Joseph. Kirby's going to have a huge year. I already call it. Would love to see a Lions-Jets Super Bowl. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself. And then Kirby picks off Aaron Rodgers 3 times. Just keeps owning him. That'd be the greatest. But the kicking position, here we go. Looks like Riley Patterson does have the slight edge now. Coaches love him. It looks like that's the way that it's going to fall. Here at the end, I like John Parker Romo. He's got the big leg. But it looks like they are leaning towards Riley Patterson, is from what I hear. Jack Fox there holding and punting. Long snapper, we just talked about it. Scott Daly won that job. That is set in stone. Punt returner, Khalif Raymond. And kick returner, Justin Jackson. That is the unofficial, first depth chart that the Lions released for the preseason games. Very interesting there to see some of the things. Was like I said, expecting a lot more out of Muhammad Ibrahim. And by the way, he was injured today at the end of Lions practice after sliding to catch a low pass. Got up slow. Did not need help getting off the field, but did not practice the rest of the day. That was at the end of the practice, though, so maybe that's why he didn't get back in there. But, yeah, I was kind of shocked to see Sam Laporta as the second string tight end. Maybe they're just doing it because he's a rookie. They want him to prove himself more. But I think he's proved himself. I think the guy's ready to go. Nothing against Brock Wright, like I said, but put your best playmakers out there, and I think Sam Laporta is our best playmaking tight end off the bat. I don't know if you heard or saw Kirby Joseph's little post-practice interview yesterday, but, they said, he goes, I know that Iowa has a lot of good tight ends coming out of their university, their tight end U. He goes, so I know that when we drafted Sam Laporta, that we had a dog on our hands. And then and then he said, what about Jack Campbell? He said, oh, he's a dog. So I love that interview from Kirby Joseph. But yeah, I do expect Laporta to be the number one tight end there to start week 1. Maybe even earn it by the end of this week. Yeah, David, Miami, we're talking about the speed again. Miami has Waddle and Hunt. Of course, they're probably the fastest receiving duo out there, but as far as a whole team, maybe we are the fastest. I'm going to look into that. That's a good question there. Grit, Gibbs will have more snaps and touches, but Monty will have more carries. I think you're right there. Monty's going to be that, workhorse of a back who hits the trenches, but we're going to use Ja in such a crazy way that he's going to get out there and he's going to do the work. Monty's going to get the work. Gibbs going to do the work. All right. David, I see Leaf more as a backup to Saint than Mims as a backup to Jones. I agree. Mims is kind of a bigger body receiver. He's bigger. And Leaf he's a lot smaller. He's got that more of a slot build. I'm with you there. Like I said, this is the first unofficial depth chart. I was looking at it and I was kind of like, okay, I see this there. Kind of like you are doing right there too. And this is not going to be, it'll be different come week 1. I expect a lot of the players to stay where they are. That offensive line is looking pretty solid, how it's set. Of course, Goff will be there. St. Brown's going to be the number 1. But there's going to be a battle for different, depth spots. People are going to be fighting for that second and third string. And some guys fighting for first string still. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. And I do not see it staying the same as it is right now. Emmanuel Mosley, I expect to be a starter or get a lot of more playing time, not be the 4th string cornerback. I hope he comes back sooner than later. I guess he's dealing with that injury a lot longer than the Lions expected. But they do still, I think the plan is still for him to be back and healthy for week 1. So that's good news. Here we go. A lot of ball hawks in the secondary, especially at safety. You are correct, Grit. Tracy Walker. Brian Branch can play safety. CJ Gardner can play safety. Kirby Joseph is the man. Ifatu Melon Fawu, I feel like can play. Sterling Shepard. Not Sterling Shepard, sorry. Not Sterling. Who is it? Starling Thomas is not a safety, but he's out there making plays. But yeah, our secondary is looking so much better this year than it was last year, especially with depth and whatnot too. We can get Emmanuel Mosley, like I was just talking about, back healthy. Cornerbacks are looking great. Chase Lucas was out there with the second team today, looking okay. I hope that he develops. He showed some glimpses last year. Some people think that he might not make the team. So last year he was a definite make. Well, he was the last guy to make it, but going into this year, I thought he was definitely going to make the team. Now with everybody that we picked up, Cam Sutton, can't forget about Cam Sutton. And the depth that we got there, he's a bubble player. So that's good. That's what you want. You want to keep creating more competition, keep upgrading your roster, especially there in the secondary. And from the word at practice today, at the joint practice, the Giants were not able to do much with the deep ball at all. Yeah, Grit, night and day. It's such a relief to know that we just got to stay healthy back there, and we're going to be good to go. But CJ Gardner-Johnson makes a huge impact. We know that. We saw that. He's vocal out there. I love the presence that he's bringing. They're all kind of chirping, kind of getting a little edge to him. And that's what you need on the defensive side. A lot of people don't like that trash talk, but when you play defense, you got to be dirty. You don't play dirty, but you got to have that edge to you. You got to have some kind of craziness to you. You're out there going, you're hitting the people. You're not avoiding the hit. You're going and making the hit. You got to kind of be a little bit nasty there, and I love the chirping. So to bring that edge to the defense, I think is just a positive thing. Other people might think it's a negative. Oh, we don't want trash talkers. Well, we don't want you because we want that nasty edge there on defense. All right. Okay. Well, I don't have much more to talk about today. That was a good episode with you guys as far as the comments and the questions. I love it when you participate. I love when you ask the questions. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mind rolling. It keeps the episode going. So please come with more questions next week. I am here every single week from here on out. The season is about to start. We got a preseason game on Friday. Let's go. I am so stoked. But yeah, it's here. It's Lions football time. Get excited. Every Tuesday, Touchdown Detroit Lions, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast. My name is Nick Harkson. Over here, Syndicate Sports Detroit, Touchdown Detroit Lions. Until next week, everybody. Peace.
Touchdown Detroit Lions! Oh,
Happy
baby,
birthday,
baby,
Hatter's House.
touchdown.
Happy birthday, Hatter's House on Friday. Had to say it real quick. Happy birthday, brother.